You can only purchase PTYA during a certain period of time, right? How long is
Yes.
that open? Like a couple weeks? Like,
Yeah, 7 days.
and
Yeah.
so if you're outside of those 7 days, you can't purchase the cohort course, but you can put your email in to get notified of the next cohort, right?
Absolutely, yeah. There are kind of two lists there. So most of the CTAs that we have for anything that promotes YouTube or is about creating a YouTube channel or even the course itself, most of them point to our 7 day free crash course, which is called the PTC crash course, basically,
Mm.
part-time YouTuber crash course. The end of that crash course, they're given the option to sign up to the waiting list, which again is like further down the funnel. Then they sign up to the waiting list. We've then segmented that waiting list according to whether people are intent on, like, have a desire to buy the course, just want more information on the course or YouTube itself. And so that's segmented in itself. And then we customize the 30-day email sequence to those different people in those different segments. And then comes to the end of it, the course launches on day 23 or 24 of that 30-day email sequence. And then we carry on sending emails for the rest of the week to those people who hadn't signed up. We're using kind of ConvertKit to be able to filter and tag people so that if someone on the first day buys the course, they're not sent the remaining 7 days of that 30-day sequence. And so we're leveraging ConvertKit a lot to build out these funnels. It's incredibly powerful software, which we've only really started leveraging properly in the last 6 months. But now we kind of do have a more extensive funnel for PTYA, but also for every course that we create now, there's always a free 5 to 7 day crash course email sequence, which for most people provides a lot of value and they get value from it. We've seen with Camera Confidence One, for example, which is something we've just launched. People have been like sending in testimonials from the crash course that we put out for that, which asks people to kind of put together a testimonial, not a testimonial, sort of a it's camera confidence, so like a short video.
Hmm.
We've had people sending in those from just the free crash course. Ultimately, that then feeds into selling them the main course if they want to, but there's a broken down version in these 5 day email sequence, which has worked really well for us so far. And that's proved quite effective so far from what I can see. And as I said, it's kind of our template now for building any course is that there has to be some sort of free offering for those people who either can't afford the course or want to know a bit more about the course in more of a segmented, day by day email sequence before they then decide to buy or decide to join the waiting list.
You mentioned this framework from that you guys got from David Perel. I think it's like
Mm,
Activate something else. Can you talk a
mm.
little bit about that and how you guys frame the sequence around that?
So this
Awesome.
is the email sequence C7, which is cohort 7, which is coming up. And so as you can see, there's like it's all the way from next Monday to October the 10th, filming this on October the 4th. And basically each line on this Notion table has what the main subject line of the email is going to be about, the purpose of the email. So this goes from announcement to instill a belief, tell a story, transformation, add value, personalize, get feedback, etc., etc.
Mm.
Segment is basically general, no YouTube channel, beginner. This is the segment. Basically, we segmented this. This is the waiting list segmentation that I talked about earlier. This is who this would be going out to. And then OTR is opportunity, transformation, result. So that's kind of the theme. And that's the bit that we got from Tiago Forte's 30-day email sequence. And each of these, as you can see, it ends up sort of drifting from opportunity towards the transformation dominating, then result dominating, and then at the end it's just CTA, 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 because that's when the course goes live, which is down here. 24 hour before is when it goes live, and then this 24 hour before is when it's closing. And then it's just a general status update around when we're writing it. And the engagement scoring system is something that Jakob has put together. He's the guy who does our marketing thing. And
Hmm.
that's basically a scoring system based on each email has a certain value. People will open it and click on it and interact with it. And those people then get kind of rated on a scoring system that we then utilize further down the 30-day email sequence based on how many points they've got in a certain within this engagement. And that's using ConvertKit as well. But he's got his own system for doing that. And each of these emails has a certain value from 1 to 4. That's kind of how the 30 days looks.
This is awesome, man. Thanks for sharing it. where can people find out more about the framework that you were mentioning? Does David Perel write about that anywhere? Or?
I'm not entirely sure. I think David and Tiago developed it with a chap called Billy Broas, who they've worked with for a while. We did a bit of work with him a couple of years ago as well. Who's got experience in like marketing and email sequences and creating email funnels. But I don't think there's any kind of resources on that first email sequence specifically. We basically got sent a Google sheet that looked like that one that I just showed you on Notion, but it just a Google sheet with the subject line, the purpose of the email, and the kind of OTR aspect as well. What is the main theme of this? Is it offering something? Is it aiming to transform, or is it showing a result? And we've adapted it for our own purposes. And then Yakka's built on top of it in terms of the engagement score, which again is a kind of key part of working out how likely are people to buy the course.
And that's based on whether they've clicked or responded to emails, or and like their open rate, I assume.
Yes, yeah, it's mainly open rate because that's kind of one of the things that we can track fairly easily with ConvertKit.
What's an opportunity email versus a transformation versus a result email? Just like real brief.
So opportunity would be laying out exactly what the course is about and what the potential, I can't think of any words other than opportunity, that you can achieve through doing the course. Transformation might be more around maybe providing a vignette of Ali's story or a kind of A to B kind of case study, for example, and then result
from like a previous student, for example.
And that's why the transformation and result are kind of somewhat overlap, because result would then be more around the case studies, of previous students, evidence that this actually works, kind of thing. So there is, as you can see with that table, where there was sort of a T and an R, there's a kind of a lot of overlap to a certain extent. But having that framework and then having the CTA as well, it sort of just provides a bit more guidance to, okay, so how can we make sure that we're not trying to sell a result immediately? We're actually kind of laying the groundwork. So if this is the opportunity that YouTube can provide, is it too late to start YouTube or no? And laying those kind of groundworks first, then providing some more evidence about the results then providing a bit more evidence around the transformation, and then actual real solid evidence around the results that people have had through taking the course, with testimonials and also real examples of people who've gone through PTYA and gone on to get hundreds of thousands of subscribers, which we have a few people now, probably 10 or 12 who've passed the 100,000. And that's kind of the result aspect. And then obviously CTA is when we've actually opened the cart and people can go and purchase it.
If you like this short clip, make sure to check out the full interview right here and subscribe to the channel for more behind the scenes interviews with the people working for your favorite entrepreneurs and creators.